Welcome, everyone. This is Pond Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Sanswinda
Hello.
and Krister.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And this week we actually have some interesting news because the announcement that they were all preparing for DevCon and being so hush hush about when they were doing the Q&A interview a couple weeks ago is finally out, and they have announced that there is going to be a new mini expansion Before the Shadow. And in Before the Shadow, they are going to be bringing in two new regions, Swanfleet and Cardolan, where they're looking at about what's happening over there as Boromir makes his way north to Rivendell ahead of the meeting that will eventually become the Fellowship of the Ring, while the Nazgûl search for Baggins in the peaceful land of the Shire. Players will discover the threat rising from Mordor and Saruman's Uruks as they explore the far history of Middle-earth. Before the Shadow questing is from levels 1 through 32, so this is going to be a new starting region. And in addition to 4 new books for the characters, I don't know, I guess this is going to be something similar to a prelude or a new prologue or something like that. Higher level characters, though, will be able to play in the new 6-player instance, and there will also be a new skirmish. Plus, they're adding something called the Delving Difficulty System to help to have some new rewards and challenges. And they have plenty more to say about Before the Shadow, so the players can expect more information about the new content and special incentives for VIPs as we get closer to the planned pre-purchase availability date in late September. Now, I will presume that, as usual, they will probably be making the pre-purchases announcement the same time that this comes out on the Bulwark, because that's what they usually do. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be probably around September 20 or 27th is probably when they're going to be releasing the Bulwark update for this and coming out with the pre-purchases. When they actually have full release, I don't know. My guess is going to be late October. Anyone else have any idea?
No, but I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Now, I would presume that this is when we will get the new classes being opened up for certain races. Thus, when you can start having Hobbit lore masters and dwarf captains and the like. And in fact, with this new starting area zone, I suspect that a lot of these new low-level characters that are being opened up are going to be questing through this area. So it sort of makes sense to have something that will be incentivizing many people to have level 1 characters to come out at the same time as level 1 area. So that'll be Before the Shadow, and I guess the first thing to ask here is, Sans, I guess you're hoping that I presume you're hoping that they add a few more character slots along with this.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. I was just contemplating that earlier today.
Yes, I can imagine. Now, I'm going to guess then, of course, that the new skirmish and that the new instance are probably going to be both set in this new area. That at least will make sense to me. Because I was wondering at first, where are they going to put these new? But okay, now see, we have this entire new area there, so I presume there's going to be some that it will scale from probably the instances probably scale from level 30 up to obviously up to level cap is just usually scaling instances go. So that's going to be my guess. We're talking about scaling, not a level 140 only, as I was thinking at first when thinking about a new 6-player instance coming out. We'll find out how far I'm off the mark when late September comes. Now, there isn't any real news about the delving system yet. I guess we'll find that about as things get closer and closer and closer. Maybe when they have the first bulwark come out on that matter. So let's then have a look at questions where they talked about 2 new areas, and someone actually posted the map for Cardolan. And also, Swanfleet is also attached to one of those things. So they have this, someone pieced together a map that includes the Yonder Shire, the Breeland, and below Breeland is Cardolan. And then to the northeast of that is the Trollshaws. Then to the east, you got Eregion, and then southeast, you've got Swanfleet, and then from there, Enidwythe. So that means we will finally have a connection between Breeland and Enidwythe. We know that road has existed for a long, well, hasn't existed so much. It means there was this portal between the two that. Actually, I don't think that was a real portal in there because I know that Bingo Boffin have that one where you do the Bingo Boffin quest where you are at the blockade, and then you go, and then of course when you end that quest, you're way out on the other end in Breeland where the road eventually supposedly takes you. But now looks like we're going to have a real road there finally. And anything so far in this announcement that excites you in particular?
Well, I think I think the concept of having that road now is pretty funny to think about. Hey, you know what? I never really paid attention all these years, but this is kind of a nice place. Well, what I've also heard beyond that is that there might be some incoming relief for latency. That is ultimately what I am looking extremely forward to.
Right? Are you looking for anything in particular, Sans?
Mostly just exploring on a worse steed. I know I can't do it at level 5, but my higher level character can go through and just see how far I can ride on all these connecting roads. I think it's going to be fun.
I didn't. So they're going to open up the war steed for all lands.
Well, you can war steed everywhere right now, almost.
No.
Unless it's inside.
I'm sorry. My apologies for not being clear there. I mean, your war steed skills going to be available?
Probably not.
Okay.
It would be nice if they would be and I could sprint. That would be amazing.
I'm really upset about the trample, the lack of trample support in so many zones in Middle Earth.
And here I want the ability to just go faster. Just that one little extra speed.
Yep.
Now, I'm wondering if the chicken runs are going to start going through Cardolan instead of, because I think right now usually when you have a chicken run, you go through Lone Lands, Trollshaws down in Reggie, I guess.
Oh my goodness! I didn't even think about this. Pine Leaf. This could be a golden age for chicken runs.
Yeah, because I'm thinking you go then, get near Breeze, and head down south from there, and you take the road south from there, and that'll take you through Lardbad to the old South Road into Enidwythe, and you just cut out I think a nice swath of walking going through there.
Well, obviously there has to be chicken validation runs done to confirm this. So.
Chicken runs to validate that this is actually going to happen. Yes. I suppose that we could try that at some point and find out all that happens in a chicken run that goes through there, and you And you don't have to worry about going through Eregion, through the Trollshalls then. Yeah. I think
You
that
know what? They've probably anticipated this, and they've built some terrifying anti-chicken circumstance into the new zone. So if the chicken run is foolish enough to go through, then maybe a bunch of treasure boogans come out.
well, I don't think it'll be treasure boogans that will make it difficult.
Well, you know how I speculate.
I mean, I suppose that we could have Swanfleet full of wolves or something like that that just love to have a nice sniff of chicken.
Oh no, wait! The wolves can be ridden by chickens.
Wolves can
Nobody
be
would
ridden.
see that coming.
That would be kind of epic, actually. That should be the new warg costume, if nothing else.
Oh, if you
You
could
get
do
like
the
a little chicken
emote.
rider.
That'd be awesome. Or if you could ride your steed while doing the chicken golf emote, where you could be launching chickens. You know, you could just have these wave. Imagine the riders of Rohan. If they didn't, they could just have stood at the top of the hill with Gandalf and just launched a bunch of chickens into the orcs.
Flaming chickens! Oh, wait.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Flaming
Sriracha.
I don't know that those are the types of things that you fling at enemies, though.
Maybe it's more of a distraction. It doesn't hurt them, but boy, this is good.
Well, especially if the opposing army is starving or something.
Yeah.
How did you guys lose the fight? We fed the starving other army. We were aiming for our own picnic tables, but
Yes. So they'll be filling in quite a lot of gaps in all of this. We'll have. I'm trying to think of other than we still have the South Farthing that's not yet. South Farthing sounds like it'll be the last major gap that's left after this. Can you think of any other gaps that currently exist other than that big blotch that's going to be Cardaland and South Farthing? And I know the Grey Havens, but that's not between.
Nothing is coming to mind.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's like, yeah, nothing's really coming to mind in there. Any major gaps in there? Just giving time to see if chat could come up with anything, but apparently not. So I'm sure that we will maybe get a letter next week saying this is the obvious place that still has a major gap in it. La, 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 la.
I mean, I don't suppose Lindleby housing is really an actual map gap.
Well, Lindleby housing would be all nice. Well, I suppose.
It would be cool, but I
Yes,
don't think it's a map gap.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're not going to get any river hobbit in this particular update.
Maybe one of the next ones. We'll have to see.
I think I got the impression if we're going to get River Hobbit 3, so we won't be worrying about that for the moment. But anyway, that's what's coming up in there, and we get Cardaland and Swanfleet filling up a lot of gaps, possibly running into some Nazgul or something like that. Who knows? But I'm going to guess that's going to be happening since it's when they're doing their search and trying to find the Shire. So if you have someone approaching you while you're in the new zone, asking for a Baggins, don't give them any information.
I mean, can we just charge them a bagging fee and give them some plastic bags? Or the ends of the bags? I mean, surely there's a way to make some silver off of people who want baggins. I don't know.
Well,
You're right. There's a product in there.
Yes, I'm not too sure I really want to pull such a prank on someone who wields a Morgul blade.
I mean, I'm really good at finding res circles.
You got a good point there. All right. So we'll have to see what all this is going to be about when the time comes close. A month of speculation. Now, in addition to the link that we have to the announcement and the link to the post where someone posted the maps in question, we also have a link article by Squirrel talking about his take on the expansion. That's something to look forward to, and that's what we'll be speculating about, I guess, all through the month of September. So then, let's head to what's on sale now. And Krister, what's on sale this week?
Well, it is Forge Your Own Ring. Get 30% off. Crafting Guild access, ingredient packs, crafting accelerators, rapid craft, crafting tiers, recipe books. And that's on through September 1st. And then, of course, the weekly coupon. And this week it is a free battle potion of restoration. And the coupon code is Battle Restore, all one word. And that again is through September 1st.
And let's head to our site news where we have a new installment of A Berg's Tale, chapter 25.
Oh yeah. Helping Radagast.
We gotta be careful.
With some new characters. Newish.
Well, if you're helping Radagast, half the new characters are probably his friendly neighborhood animals. Anyway, yes, it looks like that our favorite thief Berg, or whatever you want to call him, has made his way to Radagast, and I'm sure the Brown Wizard will never be the same. And that's it for our site news. So let's head into our week in gaming. Krister, what were you up to?
Well, last night we had our Hidden Horror T2 run. However, we were lacking a couple of our specialists last night. So what we decided to do instead of running the full run was do boss 1 on T2 and then try the boss 1 on T3. Boss 1 was a little bit rocky, and that is just simply because we did not have. It's pretty interesting to see just the group composition modified just a little bit. It can produce some really different results, and so we struggled a bit. We had a couple wipes, but then we eventually got it, and then we rolled to T3, and that was that was an interesting fight because one of the mechanics that they introduced into T3 boss 1 is that there's an aura that's given off by the ranged giant, and you have to get the 2 melee giants away from him. And so what we did was, at this point, a couple people left, and we weren't able to refill, so we just decided to practice the tactics on it. So even though it was, we weren't successful at the T3 boss 1, we were very happy with the results of what we were thinking about with our tactics, and so we're looking forward to executing on that. And then we're really starting to think about who's got what kind of gear left to get on boss on T1, T2, and T3, and seeing if we can make an effort to get everybody geared up. And of course, at that point, every little bit of gear improves our chances a little bit. And then if we keep doing that, that'll be a lot of improvement. So looking forward to that. We figured our tactics out, so looking forward to seeing if T3 starts to become viable. But we still have a lot of work to do on T2 as well. So, and then in ESO, my Exploding Orc, of course, has gotten some new outfits, and now he looks. I keep being surprised that I can perfect on perfection, but I keep doing it, and so Cord just gets more and more amazing looking every single time I play. So. And then my training is done with Stellaris. I'm ready to face my nephew. I'm expecting probably a crushing defeat within an hour, but I'll definitely let you guys know how it turns out. And then every once in a while, well, not every once in a while, but a couple times a year, I go into what I call a creative tsunami mode, and I've been in it. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of the fake money I've been printing up lately, but I've had a bunch of little art projects going on and been having a lot of fun with that. So been having a kind of a fun week, and work was not as stressful as usual, so that was pretty good. And Sans, how about you?
Well, I decided to log into Treebeard and check up on my characters there. And I logged in, and there were 0 characters. And I thought, oh no, my account has been hacked. Did they clear all my characters off all my servers? So I logged into Landerfall, and all my characters were there. And I was like, wait a second. Have I actually made any characters on Treebeard yet? So I checked Shadowfax, and I have characters on Shadowfax. And I was like, I guess I didn't make any characters on Treebeard yet, so maybe I'll end up making my new characters on Treebeard, since I apparently have space.
Any place you've got space.
Right? Now that I've discovered that I had no characters on Treebeard. And so then on Shadowfax, I logged in my newly level 10 Warden, and was promptly killed by the heat on Deadly. And decided that maybe I should have better gear. So I rolled a new hunter to be a crafter to help avoid deaths because of poor gear. And got the new hunter to about level 10. So, yeah, that was interesting. And she's not on Deadly, which probably helped. Then I made my first cryopods in Ark. They'll act kind of like Pokeballs, letting me pick up and move around dinosaurs. And we started moving our dinos between bases, Cinders and I, on our little world. So we've set up a new base in a big grassy area, and we're going to try to move all of our dinosaurs there so that it's easier to check up on them, instead of having them spread around at 5 or 6 bases. And I did some Wondrous Tales work in Final Fantasy XIV, running some raids and some of the extreme boss fights, and that was pretty fun. That was pretty much my week. How was your week, Pineleaf?
Before I go to my weekend, LOTRO, we had Sam, who posted that he sees a trip to Elrond's Morgul Blade Hospital in your future, Sam.
You know, I'm kind of sensing that, actually. Quite likely.
Yes, the Morgul Blade Hospital. Welcome.
And then a few months later, we don't remember you at all. You must earn reputation. You know. Your 3,000-year nap here while we watched you doesn't count.
Well, is that you just didn't have an opportunity to gain much reputation while you were sleeping.
Oh, right. And nobody remembers somebody who was just sleeping for 3,000 years.
Right.
in Elrond's Morgul Blade Hospital.
Yes. Let's then go into my week in gaming. We'll begin on Honor, where my brawler returned to the Inn of the Forsaken to cleanse an artifact. Yes, I have finally had an opportunity to run the brawlers. Was it level 108 class quest where you cleanse an artifact on there? So I finally know where you have to go in order to do that. That is Forsaken. And I think that's all I'll say on the matter, on that particular matter in here. So that means that I think I have finally done everything I planned for my YouTube series on the brawlers. So it looks like that's coming on to now because I went to see how brawler works high level, low level, and go through all the class quests, things like that. Then on my field trip, we were running through Mirkwood and unlocking the skirmishes over there. We managed to unlock. We unlocked Dan and Glory, I think, last week. This week, we unlocked Thungelhod, breaching the Necromancer's Gate, assault on Wraith's lair, and we're just getting to the point where we're about to run the battle in the tower. And then over in DDO, my Tabaxi reached level 10. I have a feeling I am going to be calling a visit to a certain vampire that lives in Ravenloft very, very soon. And that concludes my week in gaming. We currently have 15 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help support LOTRO players, you can go to the donations page. We can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money will be used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. The Players Alliance has 2 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Dino Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. You can join us for our shows at lotrplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight, then. This is Pilot Needle reminding you to skirmish responsibly.